I picked this up, energy. Yes, I want to learn about this because I had my own experiences with this where I was very, 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 very unhealthy and very bad energy, really, really lacking in energy, where I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. I couldn't even sit down on a chair in front of a computer for in a certain amount of time without just slumping and just losing my focus. Hey, how are you doing? It's Alan here from Look for Warriors, and I want to talk about Scott Adams' book, How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Really, Really Big. Now, it's a chapter, and I just saw this. This is not like the other chapters where there's a page. Some of the chapters are a page, which is brilliant. This one's not a page. It's like 3 pages. No, it's not. Sorry. No, this one's a bit longer than that. I think just a good number of sections in it, about 3 pages long each. So it's probably about 10 pages. But it's really, really, really important. And I come to this chapter and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, yes, this is it. This is what I want to hear from Scott Adams. It's about energy. And energy is really, really important, and specifically really important to me. And let me tell you a 5-second story of why energy is important. Years and years ago, I set up a business. It was a lot of work, a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, constantly selling, constantly trying to get things done and working, I don't know, it felt like 24 hours a day. I guess it was probably like 12 to 18 hours a day, but it felt like I was working 24 hours a day. In fact, it was sometimes I had to do a proposal and I would stay up the whole night to do it because I had to be in for a deadline. So I'd literally stay up the whole night even though I felt sick. And I felt like I was going to collapse. I just kept going. So it was a very difficult time. A lot of it. There was a lot of work, an awful lot of work involved. There was a lot of pressure. And I just felt like I just didn't have time to exercise. I was working every hour that God sends. And I didn't have time to exercise. But what happened? And also I just ate whatever was available, whatever junk food was available. So I really, zero exercise pretty much, and really, really bad diet. And within time, not a lot of time, a couple of years, I had ballooned up to maybe, I don't know what it was. It was more than 20 stone, I know that. It was possibly 25 stone. I was pretty big. Maybe 30 stone, I don't know. I got to about 22, 23, and I just stopped weighing myself because I just didn't want to know. It was just depressing to know. But I was big. It was really, really big. And it wasn't just that I was this fat, jolly guy. I was really unhealthy. I couldn't walk upstairs. And I really didn't want to exercise. And my energy was all over the place. And the reason it backfired on me is because I found that then I would sit down in front of the computer and I just didn't have the right energy to focus. I just couldn't focus. So I wasn't getting the work done anyway. So I didn't get the benefit of those extra hours anyway. I would have actually got much more benefit over long term if I had just done the exercise time, 20 minutes of exercise each day and cooked a bit more of my food, which I do now. And I have lost a lot of that weight. I still have, obviously I still have some to lose. I'm not in Scott Adams's area where he is, I don't know what he is, 160 pounds or something. I'm probably more like 250 pounds, but considering I was 300 or 400, I'm a much better place now than I was in the past. But the whole point is that over the long term, I wasn't getting the benefit anyway. I would have been getting the same benefit, same amount of benefit, and being much healthier if I just did the 20 minutes of exercise every day, which I just didn't feel like I had enough time to do. So I'm picking up this book. Let's pick up the book. Oh, where's the book? I'm picking up this book. And I'm opening the book and I'm like, energy. I want to read this. Scott Adams is like 160 pounds or something. He's really, really fit and healthy, great energy. So I want to learn. I want to learn from Scott Adams. I would prefer to learn. He always says that don't take health advice from a cartoonist. But I would prefer to learn about health from a healthy cartoonist than to learn from a fat doctor. That's just me. Now, I'll say the disclaimer that everybody says. For health advice, go to your doctor. But just personally, me, I prefer to learn from a healthy cartoonist than a fat doctor. That's just me. Now, so I picked this up, energy. Yes, I want to learn about this because I had my own experiences with this where I was very, 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 very unhealthy and very bad energy, really, really lacking in energy, where I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. I couldn't even sit down on a chair in front of a computer for in a certain amount of time without just slumping and just losing my focus. Now I do the Pomodoro technique where I can have 50 minutes of work or 20 minutes of work, whatever it happens to be, and 10 minutes break. And I can't do that all the time. Sometimes you just can't do that, but I try to do that as often as I can. And so I'm picking up this book. Energy. Scott, talk to me about energy. I want to hear this. I want to hear this about energy. Now, I'll simplify some of this for you. First thing he talks about is optimizers versus simplifiers. And I'll simplify this chapter for you in 2 seconds. I hope Scott Adams doesn't see this because he's not going to like this, but I'll simplify this chapter for you. This chapter, I'll simplify this chapter in 2 sentences. My girlfriend is really, really sexy, so I let her be annoying. That's what I get out of that chapter. Sorry, Scott. That's what I get out of that chapter. My girlfriend is incredibly sexy, so I let her make us be late sometimes for things, which I wouldn't accept from anybody else. That's my simplification of that chapter. I'm sorry. Okay, but he talks about a lot in here. There's some really, really, really good stuff, and he's talking about sitting position. And you look at this and you think that's stupid. Like, what's the matter with way I'm sitting? It's so important. It's about, Scott Adams knows a lot about NLP and about the brain. But as far as the brain is concerned, it is important where you are. I make sure when I'm working, when I'm doing these, I make sure I'm in a specific place for my green screen. When I'm working, I always work in the same place. Now, 90% of the time, I have an office that I go into and I work from the office, even when I work from home. And I'm sitting in my office on my own, working when I'm working. And when I'm somewhere else, I'm doing something else. Now, the little caveat to that is sometimes I'll put my kids to bed and sometimes I'll sit in the room and I'll just take the iPad out and do a little bit of work while I'm there. And that's a little caveat. Sometimes, or if I'm in the car, and I'm stuck in traffic, I'll take the iPad out. I'll do a little bit with that. But 90% of the time when I'm working, I'm at my desk working. Because it does something, it clicks in your brain, I think. And you need time off from work and time on work. So Scott Adams is right, really, really, really right about that. About this, down as far as the sitting position is important. If you're sitting up straight in your chair, you're in work mode. And if you're slouching, you're on the couch slouching, or lying down on the couch, you're in watching TV mode. And it's so important. Now read the book, it'll tell you all about it. I'm not going to go into I'm not going to just read the book line by line. I just want to give you my opinion. Now, he's dead right. Have a place to work. And even if it's at the kitchen table, but that's your workplace. Sit on the seat in a specific way when you're working. Keep your focus. And don't do what I did. Do your 20 minutes exercise every day, 20 minutes exercise, whatever it happens to be. Really simple, but it's going to keep your mind in the right place. It's going to keep you, because you don't notice. I put on ridiculous amounts of weight and you don't notice yourself putting on that weight until you look back in a photograph. You're, jeez, is that me? It's the way it works. And it's also about having a clean workspace. This is really, really important to me. I need to have a clean workspace pretty much. So I'll spend the 20 minutes cleaning before I start work, just so I have a clean workspace. I can focus. Even you just working on the computer, it doesn't matter. But your environment does make a difference to you. And I don't have the most beautiful office in the world, but it is clean. I keep it clean. So they're all really, really important. Now, I want to talk about the last thing, which is really, really important. Really important. And it's in Think and Grow Rich as well, which is interesting. It's not the same thing, but I'm going to connect the two. So, it talks about knowledge. The chapter is called Knowledge or Lack Thereof. And what he's saying is to get your mind in the right frame, you need to have some specialized knowledge. Now, this is in Think and Grow Rich, where he talks about specialized knowledge and how important it is. All about the trial of Henry Ford. He talks about that. He talks about Henry Ford having specialized knowledge, which made him be able to build an empire. and talking about the generalized knowledge is not that useful. I know that World War II started in 1939. I learned that in school, I still know it. But so what? So what? I know that the Rising in Ireland was 1916. So what? I can ask Google. I can search on the web. I can get those answers. I happen to know them. I know how to say Fekime to Morak. All these things I can look up on the web. But specialized knowledge is different. Specialized knowledge. And he talks about this, the skill stack. So he's skill. We have the skill stack. And what Scott Adams says is that every new skill that you add on doubles your value. That's not exactly true, but it's a good frame of mind to come from. Every new skill that you add on doubles your value. And so he talks about the specialized knowledge. Now, he gives the example of he was doing the Dilbert cartoon. Now, where his real value in that cartoon is the ideas. Because, it's really the idea. But he was saying that he didn't know how to fill in the colours into the cartoon. He could draw it out, but he didn't know how to fill in the colours. And that messed up his energy because he's like, oh, I just don't know how to do this. So you're unsure, mess up your energy for every part of the process then. But specialized knowledge is so important. And you've got to build your skill stack. But we've never ever been in a better time. Never been in a better time to build specialized knowledge. Never been in a better time to build, grow, and learn specialized knowledge. All you need to know is what you need to know. And you can find the answers. If Scott Adams was in that situation where he didn't know how to fill in the colours today, he could find it out pretty quickly. Well, I could find that out pretty quickly by following Scott Adams, but I'm sure there's lots of other people who've answered that question too online. Quora, Skillshare, Udemy, whatever it is, loads of places. To get that kind of specialized knowledge that you need to do the work that you need to do. So he says that specialized, he calls it knowledge or lack thereof, but I'm going to say specialized knowledge because generalized knowledge is just a waste of time. Stuff you can look up. It's okay to have some generalized knowledge. That's okay. It doesn't hurt, but it's the specialized knowledge that's really valuable. The stuff other people don't know. That's just really valuable. And what he's saying about energy is, if you have that specialized knowledge you need for the work you want to do, then you're not diminishing your energy. Because if you don't have it, or there's something you don't know, it diminishes your energy in all areas. So it's just talking about that knowledge. Knowledge is really important, but it's not just knowledge, it's specialized knowledge. Really important for the work you want to do. So energy, I found it good. I found it very interesting. I wanted to pull more out of Scott Adams' brain, but maybe that's just another book. I'm going to read some of his other books. I wanted to pull more about energy because I think energy is so important. But I think it was definitely interesting, and he's dead right. Have that space, do the exercise, sit in a specific way, have that specialized knowledge so it doesn't diminish your energy in other areas. Really important chapter. Really important chapter. It's been Alan here from Look for Warriors, talking about Scott Adams, how to fail at almost everything, still went big, talking about how to optimize your energy.